The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the Level 2, the Chapter Excellence Program. My name is Gail Sylvie, and I am the Membership Development Liaison for Skills USA. Thank you again for joining us today. You may have had the opportunity yesterday to join us for the Level 1 of the Chapter Excellence Program, and today we're going to take off from there, and we're going to dive into the Level 2 Chapter Excellence Program. So if you didn't have a chance to take part in that yesterday, you can find that on our website. If you just go in and search for webinars, it will take you to the Level 1 Chapter Excellence Program webinar if you need to catch up on that. But for today, we're going to dive right into Level 2. And as you may already know, since you've been working on your Level 1, that you go into the Chapter Excellence Program simply through our registration system. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to jump right in there. And I am going to log in to a fake school account that I have set up just for the purposes of working through registration and Chapter Excellence Program and all those good things so that we can see exactly how our teachers are seeing things out in the field and know how to best adjust to meet their needs. So this should be a page that you're very familiar with, as it shows on here the membership for your school, the conference registration for your school, if there's any registration that you're involved in, but also what you'll notice on the bottom of the left-hand side of the screen is an icon for the Chapter Excellence Program. And that's where we're going to go to today, is in this icon here for the Chapter Excellence Program. Okay, and it's loaded. So one of the things that we talked about in our earlier CEP Level 1, and that I just want to note again today, is that for the Chapter Excellence Program, it can either be completed in sections or program sections or as a full chapter. So let's say at your school you have a cosmetology, a welding, and a graphic communication. So you decide as a chapter that all three of those sections, those program areas, are going to work together to complete the CEP. If you did that, that's great, and you would only have one CEP application on here. You may decide, though, that you want to work as individual sections, as you see on here. If you do that, then each one of your sections that wants to take part in the Chapter Excellence Program would complete their own application. So as you can see from this page right here, we're going to be working on Level 2. I've already done a little work on this earlier today before we got started for this webinar. So I went in and put some information in here. So it tells me over here in the far right-hand side the last time that this application was edited and the time in which it was. So this is where I was working last, and so I know I want to go back into that this one's mine. I've labeled all of these with my name on here. So if you were actually doing these as individual sections at your school, it would have the individual advisor names on these sections right here and their email contact. Also, as you see, we have some statuses over here. This is a working Level 2. You can always come down here and look at the status definition. When I can look here, working means the application is still being edited. So that means we're still working on this. We haven't submitted it. It hasn't been judged. It's not being scored. None of those things are happening yet because we are working on this application. Also, a couple of other neat things to note on this page is that you could open up and download a PDF version of your application so that then you could take that with you, particularly once you have all your information completed in there. You could walk away with that document right there as a tool to show exactly what your chapter has done for the year. It's a great record-keeping tool there, as well as you go to the Edit button over here, and it tells you that up here at the top when you're ready to put information in that you'd want to edit. One other feature that I want to show you on this page is that let's say that you are at a school and you are conducting the CEP as sections, and now your carpentry section, your carpentry program at your school wants to also take part in this, and they want to complete a Chapter Excellence Program application. They would simply go to this button here to the Add New, and then they would select their section from that Add New right there and begin a new chapter application. Okay, so with that, we're going to go over here and we are going to do some more editing to our Level 2 Chapter Excellence program. We're going to click that button there, the edit piece, and it's going to think for just a second as it pulls that up. Great. So this first information right here is going to look very familiar to you if you've already completed Level 1. This is your main application is what this is considered here. This is all of your contact information. This is your certification piece. So this main application, once you've completed it in Level 1, it travels with you over to Level 2. So you can see here the basic information, and if you were with us yesterday as we worked on Level 1, know that this is the broadcast news production section that we're working on right here. It's got our school name and our school address, contact information in here, telephone numbers. It also has our number of unduplicated student enrollment, that these are students that are eligible to be members of Skills USA. And so for this, basically what I'm saying is that as the broadcast news production section of our school, I am seeing 60 students a day. 60 students are coming in and out of my classes, and those 60 students are eligible for Skills USA membership. Now, the system itself, once you put your membership in for the year, it's going to auto-fill this number right here for you. It's going to auto-fill that. So if I had 60, could be that I have all 60 here are showing up in my membership, that I've got 100% membership, or it could be that I've got 30 that are now members, and I've got 50% of my student population that I'm seeing on a daily basis are members. So that's the information that's at the top portion of the main application. As we travel on down, we will see our certifications. Our certifications, you see this a lot of times now on documents that are created online, that since you can't have a handwritten signature, that by putting the name in here and clicking over here on the side, the electronic box, that equals to the same degree a handwritten signature. And so you're going to want to have this information for the president, the secretary, the advisor, and your superintendent or principal, that they're going to be signing off on these pieces right here. And we were mentioning earlier that with the piece here with the principal or the superintendent, it would be an awesome time to have your chapter members take this document, a PDF version of this document, and take it to your principal and say, we'd like to share with you the great things that are going on within our chapter, and spend just a few minutes doing that so that the principal is aware of these great things. So it's another wonderful way to build public relations within your school as well and talk about the good things that you're doing. Now, below our certifications, we have our Level 2 Chapter of Distinction indicators. Now, we had essential indicators, essential activities over in Level 1 as well. These are things that are given. No hold bars. These are things that have to be marked yes to submit a Level 2 application. So these are things that are indicators that your chapter is operating to the best of its ability and that you're conducting these activities right here. It's going to default to no. So for each one of these, you are going to need to click the indicator over to yes. And if at this time you can't say yes because you're like, oh, well, we haven't done that or we didn't do this, well, you have an opportunity here to click to get some additional information on how to make these things happen within your chapter, so that then you can come back to this document and you can click, yeah, we've done that now and we're good to go. So I wanted to go over these with you. The first one is conduct chapter officer training. And we have some really great resources on our website to be able to help you conduct chapter officer training. We're going to step right over here for a second. I opened these up earlier so that you could see some of these. So here's one about officers and elections. So when you click the buttons on the site for additional information, some of these are going to take you over to the Advisor Essentials Training Library. If you haven't stumbled upon this wealth of knowledge here, I think you'll really enjoy this right here. You'll be able to find some additional information on most all of these subjects right here. So we're going to go back over here. The next one is chapter conducted a recruitment activity. And so this could be a membership drive, a middle school presentation that you did. It could be that you're setting up that at some point in your school year you set up a table in the commons area during lunchtime so that students could come by and gather more information about your Skills USA chapter. It's also a great time, perfect opportunity that you're also really informing your student body about your program area. So think about it as a great way for recruitment for your program area. But it's really getting that word out. It's recruitment activities. And this link right here will take you to a whole section of recruitment ideas that are all listed on our website. And so really want to encourage you to check these out. Even if you've already done a great recruitment activity for this year, still might want to check that out for some ideas for the future right there. The next one is chapter members are engaged in committee structure to implement chapter activities. And committees are so very important to really carrying out the program of Skills USA and the program of work of Skills USA, as well as committees ensure that all of our students are involved and are able to take advantage of all of the activities and all of the skill sets that they're developing from that involvement. So we have additional information in this area about committees and how to set those up. Now, number 4 is plan to participate in State Leadership and Skills Conference. Now, why is that worded that way? Because you're planning to participate, not that you did. Because for a lot of folks, these applications are going to be due before their State Leadership and Skills Conference ever happens. So it is just that you're planning to attend. Now, we are not asking that you turn in any background information, anything that is going to substantiate that you did these things. This is truly for you and your students as they're working through this, that your chapter officers are ensuring that they're doing these things. Because we know that the proof is in the pudding, that as we talk to advisors, we talk to chapter members, that these are the essential activities that build strong chapters. And that as we did focus groups and talk to advisors, they felt so strongly about these things that they needed to be included, that they had to be essential elements. And that's why they're listed here as essential elements. And also that's why we've given you some resources to help make that happen for your chapter if you haven't been conducting these things in the past. So those are the 4 essential elements that must be marked yes. Now as we go on down then, we have some chapter of distinction indicators. And with these indicators, there are 13 indicators here, and only 7 of the 13 have to be marked yes in order to submit a level 2 application. So there's certainly some of these on here that you say, you know what, we're not doing that right now, and you know what, there's no way that I can make that happen for this school year. Next school year, we're going to work on that. It's just not going to happen for this year. Well, that's okay, because 6 of these, you can move off the side and say, you know what, that's not going to happen, and we're going to leave those a no. So the first one here is an auto-filled from the registration site, and that's at 75% of eligible students are Skills USA members. So earlier, and I said that I had 60 students that were coming in my program during the day, broadcast news production, that's saying that 75% of those 60 students are Skills USA members. Well, I only have 30 have become Skills USA members. So I don't have 75%, I just have 50% of my eligible students are members in Skills USA. So that would remain a no on here. If you have 75% and the system's going to do the math for you, then this indicator is going to show up as a yes. It's automatically going to show up as a yes there. So that's where those two pieces of information from earlier in the form are so important right here. The next one is held executive committee meetings with local chapter officers. So are you meeting with your chapter officers on a regular basis so that they're able to plan for the full chapter meeting? They're the ones working on the agendas. They're the ones planning that out, making those decisions, and you're there truly just advising and serving as some guidance for them. The students are the ones who are taking on these skills and learning these things. And if you haven't been doing that with committee meetings, executive committee meetings, you're going to be able to find out more about how to do that at this link right here. So at my chapter, we have been doing that, and so we're going to mark a yes right there. And then the next one is conducting an activity to engage business and industry partners. Business and industry partners. So if you've done some things that you may have had business and industry partners come in and speak to your students, held a career day. You may have had an opportunity where your students have gone out and presented, maybe to the Kiwanis Club within your community, maybe to your board chairs there, maybe to your legislative group. So business and industry partners that, yes, they've had an opportunity to go out and they have spoken to them or in some way engaged in an activity. Again, for all of these, we're not going to require or request that you submit anything that shows proof of these activities right here. It is truly on an honor code that you know whether you did or did not complete these things. The next one is students attended Fall Leadership Conference, and we're going to say yes, students attended Fall Leadership Conference. The next one is chapter members attended one activity above the chapter level, excluding Fall Leadership Conference. So it may be that your members went to a region or a district competition, or that you had a region or a district leadership event that you went to, or maybe there was some other type of activity throughout the year that was held on the state level that your students were able to go and participate in. For my chapter, we were not able to go and do anything additional, so we're going to leave that as a no right there where it defaulted. The next one is a report of chapter activities and accomplishments is presented to the school board. So it is presented. So that could be that it's something you're planning to do in the month of May before your school gets out for you for the summer. So you're planning that report of chapter activities. It actually could involve the CEP. That could be a document that you're taking to the school board right there. So yes, at my chapter, we are going to do that and make sure we have that report to the school board. The next one here is held a local technical area championship. So that one there is, a lot of folks have said, well, what exactly do you mean by that? Really, the intent there is that students are having the opportunity to be selected to go to competitions based on their skills that they demonstrate within their classroom structure, that they are not cherry-picked, but that there truly is an opportunity where there is a local, in your classroom, in your school, opportunity for a championship to take place. So it could be that 1 week prior, all the students are aware of the technical standards. They have an opportunity to prepare for those. They know that on the next Friday when they come into class, that's the day they're going to be given whatever the challenge is, whether it's the welding or the cosmetology class or whether it's the graphic design class, that they're going to be given whatever the contest challenge is, and they're going to work to complete that to the best of their ability. And from that challenge right there that day, the individual who is going to represent that chapter to move on to the region or district is going to come because of that local championship that took place on that day. So yes, we certainly did do that. So we made sure then, this is a broadcast video production class, that we held a competition within our classroom, and that is how the individual was selected. But also, it's really important that within all of our skill programs that we also offer our leadership and occupational activities to our students as well for championships. So we set up a day and folks that wanted for prepared speech or extemporaneous, all of those different contests, job interviews. We had a local area championship. It's not that I just chose folks that I wanted to take with me, but we tested those students and we found the best of the best within that classroom, and they feel really great about moving from the local area championship to the next area being the region or the district or the state. So we did both of those. Really excited about that. Then celebrated Skills USA Week through chapter activities. We certainly did that, and I hope everyone's had a great Skills USA Week. And if you want some more information on activities, you can click that there. One or more articles was published in local media. So this is another one we receive a lot of questions about because it can be very difficult to get things published in the local media in some places of the country. But please know that local media is all types and kinds there. So we have a lot of online media submission now. A lot of our local newspapers are very, very hungry for online stories that they can post along with pictures, along with videos as well. So if you haven't tried that opportunity, give that a shot as well. Also within our Skills USA website, there's the CAPWIZ system. And if you haven't had an opportunity to work on that, that connects you directly with all the newspapers in your area. All you're having to do is plug in your zip code, and that's going to send the information out for you. But unfortunately for my chapter, we didn't get anything published this year. So I'm going to say no right there. And I'm still okay because I've only got to have 7 out of these 13 that I'm clicking yes to. But I know that next year, this is something that's important because it's on this list right here, and we're going to work harder to see if we can't get something online. So that's really where we're moving towards. It's just, this is a great way to know the really important things that we're all going after. So the next one is local chapter has a social media or web presence. This is another one that some folks say, boy, that's really difficult to do. My school system won't let us on Facebook. We're not able to do this or that. What I have found and seen that's really great across the country is that school websites are dynamic. They're always changing, and there's a lot of teacher pages and club pages, as they call them on a lot of websites, where you are able to put information about your Skills USA chapter, particularly so then that your parents, business and industry, those folks can go and visit that information on there. So again, it's looking for all the ways that you could get the information out, as well as many schools also have a home page where they have a continual feed there of different stories and highlight items. Something where you'd want to really be working with somebody on your local school level to say, hey, this is a picture from our fall leadership conference, and this is a short write-up, or these are the individuals involved. Could you get this on here for us? So all of that is great PR, and it's just really building the awareness of Skills USA within your community and in your school. So that's a great place there. Has a candidate for state office. Well, so no one. I said, well, you know what? This year I just don't have anyone that I feel like I can put forth for state office. But, I'm still okay. I've still got a whole lot of things on here, and I've still got 7 out of these 13. And so I'm not worried about that one. But you know what? Next year maybe I'll have somebody that I can put forth for state office. And the last one here is a chapter awards program or banquet is conducted at the local level in which all members may attend. We do a wonderful banquet that we do a breakfast banquet where folks come in 45 minutes before school starts, and we feed them a little bit of breakfast, and we hand out awards. So know that banquet doesn't necessarily have to be a full-blown meal function in the evening. This is awards program or banquet here. This is all about celebrating the success of your chapter members and then having an opportunity to be recognized in front of their peers. So be creative with that and look at the different ways that maybe some of the other organizations within your school or nearby schools are recognizing their student members through awards and banquets. So I see here, yep, I've done okay. I at least have 7 of these that are marked, so I know I'm in good shape here. So once I've done these, I am ready to go on. And anytime it is constantly saving. Your document's constantly saving as you're going through, but you can always just click Save, and it will update on here. Sometimes if you don't have certain things that are completed on the page, it may give you a little message up here at the top of things that you don't have completed that you need to go back and fill in. It tells me here my application is saved thus far, because yesterday we'd already done a lot of work on here with putting in telephone numbers and things like that. So now, the next piece is that we are going to complete an activity for personal, workplace, and technical. And we're going to look at personal first. They all mimic one another. And I went ahead and put some information in here for personal a little while ago so that we could go over that. Highly recommend that this is the opportunity for your students to be the ones that are working on these pieces of information, because completing this right here is building skills within your students. And so within either a committee, or whether it's a chapter officer team, or whether it's the teams that have worked on these particular activities, that those are the ones that are going to be working to complete this application right here. This is another opportunity where if you downloaded the blank PDF, the students could write in it, it could complete that, or they could complete this in a Word document and then simply be copying and pasting their information over here as well. So I just want to walk through the personal skills activity. Again, the setup we're about to go over looks the same for personal, workplace, and technical. So the big caveat I would say here up front is that all of these activities here for these three, they cannot be the same activities that were used in Level 1. So whatever you used in your Level 1 application, make sure you don't repeat those over here, or you could have points deducted from your application for doing that. So you don't want to do that. So make sure there's no repeats there. So the activity that I came up with is Food Pantry Community Service Project. And with that, you're going to want to choose a couple of different framework elements that apply to the activity. So as I look here then, there are several here that we could choose from. And what I selected here is we look at the Food Pantry Community Service Project, that students would work on work ethic, adaptability and flexibility, and self-motivation. So up front, those are the thought processes as we go into it. Those are the things that we want to work on with our students so that they're building those particular skill sets. So as we look down here, you're going to have some goals. You need at least 3 SMART goals. We do have character limits on each one of these, and there is also spell check. So you're going to want to write SMART goals for each of these. And as you write those, that again, really those are things that you're going to want to do on the front end of the activity. Then as you go through, got a plan of action as well. So a plan of action, and again, this is what your chapter officer team or the committee is going to want to work on, this plan of action, the who, what, when, and where of the activity. So you can see here I've listed 7 different pieces of a plan of action here, 7 different steps. I've dated things, and then I've given a short description here of what that plan of action for that particular day was all about, as well as the goals that were specific to that plan of action. Then as we move on through, we have for D, results, evaluation, and framework. So we want to talk about what was accomplished, how did this activity help members gain these skills based on these essential elements selected above. So here you have 1,500 characters max to take care of this here. So with each one of those, I went back to the goals that we set at the very beginning here and stated whether we exceeded, met, or did not meet. And I put some information in here I also did a little evaluation, or this is what you would have your students do, an evaluation of the event, and then didn't have quite enough time when I sat down this time to complete the framework piece of this, but I certainly would come back, or rather the students would come back and complete this. But exactly, how is it that this activity helped our students develop work ethic? And that's where we really see that when we talk to our Skills USA members, they can talk and discuss and articulate very well how Skills USA has built their confidence and how they feel better presenting in front of others and presenting themselves. But when you dig deeper, it's very difficult to get those students to articulate other things that Skills USA has done for them. And this is where it really needs to be so very purposeful that they're thinking about activities and what they've gained from those activities. So then when they sit down with a potential employer, those words and that verbiage, they're able to articulate that and talk about how they develop those skill sets through these activities. And that is really the entire purpose of the Chapter Excellence Program. It's really instilling these skills within our students and then providing them the ability to articulate those. And that's why it's so important that our students are the ones that are taking part in this application process. So we would come back next week and we would have our students sit down and they would be working as a committee coming up with a statement here for work ethic, adaptability and flexibility, and self-motivated, and how this activity, which was working with the food pantry, how it developed those within them. At the very bottom of the page here, we have a picture. We were able to upload a picture as well as provide a caption. Uploading the picture is so very easy. I'm going to see if I can't switch this one out, so hopefully it will switch out just as easily. But as we say, well, I think that I'd like to take this picture instead, and we're going to upload that one image, and we'll see if it'll upload as quickly as it did earlier. And then you're going to provide a caption down here at the end. And let's go down to the bottom of the page, and sure enough, now we have a new image here. So that's just how quickly that happens. As we go along, it is saving as we go. You have a save button at the top and at the bottom. Again, you do have a spell check. So let's see if we can check that out here. So we do have a spell check. Works pretty well here in catching things for us. But it is great to make sure that things are read and proofed. There we go. So it's taking care of our spell check there for us. So once we're satisfied with our personal, we'll go over here to workplace. It's automatically save that activity. And we would do the same thing for our workplace skills activity. Again, it's got to be a different activity than what we used in level 1. Once we complete those same steps there and make sure we check mark our framework elements, we're going to go over here to technical as well. We're going to update those goods there. We're going to put all that information in, make sure it's just like we want it to be. We're going to go back eventually to our main application. And once we get to the main application, we have all of our information in. Then we're going to submit the application once it's completed. And once you've done that, once you've hit submit, you can't get back to the application. It's closed for your editing, so you want to make sure that you've done all of your editing to it and you've got all that good information in there before you submit it, because then you can't get back to it. So just check on those deadlines that are within your state to make sure that you have those set. But then you're in great shape, and you will be listed as a level 2 chapter, and then your application will be judged to a standard, and it will either be a bronze, a silver, or a gold. And know that the top 10% of the total number of chapters within your state For the gold application, we'll move on to the national as a Models of Excellence. As judging for the Models of Excellence, the top 25 in the nation will be selected as Models of Excellence. They will receive a $2,000 grant to travel to the national conference, where they'll take part in an interview process there. And when we get to that point, and on April 1, we'll be receiving those applications from the state, and on April 10th, we'll be announcing the Models of Excellence. We'll certainly do some webinars with those 25 chapters and make sure everybody is ready to go and feels great there. But for today, that gets us through level 2. And so I want you to know that if you have any questions at all, please, please, please call me or email me. I'd love to talk with you and to make sure that you have all the information that you need, because I bet that you have completed 99% of everything that is on the level 2 application, and it just needs to be put into the application itself, and you'll be good to go. But if there's anything I can do to help you with that, I certainly would like to do that. Again, my name is Gail Sylvie, and I'm the Membership Development Liaison for Skills USA, and I so appreciate you joining us today for the Level 2 of the Chapter Excellence Program. Please feel free to give me a call or to email me if there's anything that I can do for you. Thanks so much, and have a great day.